Hi everybody, in this video I am discussing the pediatric respiratory condition croup. If you like this video, subscribe it and also share to your friends. Also, I have included some important multiple choice questions related to this topic at the end of the video, so watch till the end. So let's begin. What is croup? It is also known as laryngotracheobronchitis. So croup is also known as laryngotracheobronchitis. It is a respiratory infection usually caused by a virus, and it is a clinical syndrome characterized by peculiar brassy cough, also known as barking cough. So the peculiar feature of croup is brassy barking cough, mainly presenting with or without inspiratory stridor, hoarseness of voice, or varying degrees of respiratory distress. Next is the incidence and risk factors. So the commonest cause of upper airway obstruction in children is croup. Croup is the common cause of upper airway obstruction in children, and it is a seasonal disease and it peaks in the winter. That is, it occurs most often in autumn and when the respiratory viruses are more prevalent. It usually occurs in children from 6 months to 3 years of age, or even up to 6 years of age it may occur. So it is a seasonal disease and it is mainly occurring in winter season. Next is the main agents responsible for the occurrence of croup. Para-influenza virus is responsible for approximately 2/3 of the cases, that is 75% of the cases. The reason is para-influenza virus. Then other viruses are also known to cause the croup, that include the human metapneumovirus, influenza A and B, adenovirus, rhinovirus, respiratory syncytial virus. So these are all other viruses which may cause, but the most common cause is para-influenza virus. It is important. The next is the areas affected. Croup syndrome affect the larynx, trachea and bronchi. So it usually causes the inflammation of upper airway, larynx, trachea and bronchi, and this swelling result in narrowing of the airway. This swelling may result in the narrowing of the airway, including the subglottic area, which is the narrowest section of the pediatric airway. And this is responsible for increasing the difficulty in breathing as the airway lumen gets narrowed. So this is the main physiological process that is occurring in croup. That is, it causes the inflammation of the upper airway, mainly the larynx, trachea and bronchi, and this swelling may result in narrowing of the airway. That is, it include even the subglottic area, and that is responsible for increasing the breathing difficulty and narrowing of the airway lumen. And so this, what happens is, it produces a noise that is similar to a seal barking, and taking a breath often produces a high-pitched whistling sound that is known as stridor. The next is the clinical features of croup. That is, the disease is usually preceded by an upper respiratory infection, and then it is characterized by gradual onset of low-grade fever. And also we can see the parents often report that the child went to bed and later woke up with barky brassy cough. That is, nocturnal onset of barky cough is an important feature which can be found in croup. And when the airway is significantly narrowed, the child struggles to inhale air, producing characteristic inspiratory stridor and suprasternal retractions. So other important feature is inspiratory stridor and suprasternal retractions. And the respiratory distress may be manifested by nasal flaring, intercostal chest retractions and continuous stridor. And when the child is unable to inhale a sufficient volume of air, the symptoms of hypoxia become evident. And also, if the obstruction is severe enough to prevent adequate ventilation and exhalation of carbon dioxide, it can cause respiratory acidosis, and eventually respiratory failure may also occur. So the patient or the baby will be more irritable and restless with signs of hypoxia, that is intermittent cyanosis leading to permanent cyanosis, and apneic episodes may also develop. So these are the clinical manifestations of croup. The next is how it spreads. So it may spread by airborne respiratory droplets, that is during coughing or sneezing. Then by touching a contaminated surface, it can be the blanket or doorknob. Then by saliva, that is by kissing or shared drinks. Then also it can be spread by skin to skin contact, that is by handshakes or hugs. So these are the method of way of spreading the infection. The next is the diagnostic measures. The diagnosis is typically made by the history collection and physical examination. So the clinical history and examination is the main first step in the diagnosis. And also we have to exclude the other causes of the shortness of breath and stridor, that is the foreign body aspiration and epiglottitis, that we have to exclude. And however, in some cases the radiographic confirmation is very important. That is, the classical finding that is visualized in the radiographic examination, mainly the anterior posterior neck radiograph shows steeple sign. So in the neck radiograph it reveals the steeple sign, that is the narrowing of the laryngeotracheal air column just below the vocal cord, or we can say it is a subglottic narrowing, that is known as the steeple sign. So this helps to differentiate the croup from bacterial epiglottitis. Okay, so this is the particular or the main feature which we can see in croup is steeple sign in the radiographic examination. Next is the prevention of croup. That is, it is preventable by immunization for influenza and diphtheria, and also take the same steps to prevent the cold and flu. Then frequent hand washing is very important for the prevention, and keep the child away from anyone else who is sick. So these are some of the preventive measures for croup. Then next is the management. So regarding the management, the child with mild croup can be managed at home, and the hospital admission depends upon the patient's degree of respiratory distress, ability to take rest or maintain adequate hydration. So depending on all these factors, hospital admission is needed. For mild croup, the children can be managed at home by exposure to cold, humid air or cool mist. So why we are providing this cool mist therapy is that this cool air result in vasoconstriction of the airway with a resultant decrease in the inflammation, and also it helps in soothing of the inflamed mucosa and thinning of the mucus. So that is why we have to provide the cool mist or air by bringing the child out in cold. Okay, so in hospitals the mist may be provided with a face mask. So for moderate to severe croup, the child can be managed with oxygen therapy, then intravenous fluid administration, steroid injections and nebulized racemic epinephrine. So why we are providing this steroids? Corticosteroids are administered to reduce the airway inflammation and swelling. So oral steroids like dexamethasone or can be given as IM if the patient is unable to tolerate the oral dosing. Then nebulized racemic epinephrine is given to reduce the mucosal edema by mucosal vasoconstriction. Then next is the nursing management. So frequent assessment by the nurse is essential to determine the child's respiratory obstruction. So it includes the monitoring rate, depth, type, heart rate and regularity of respiration. Then auscultation, that is the auscultation of lungs for breath sounds and the presence of bronchi or rales. Then observation of the nasal flaring. Then the substernal, suprasternal and intercostal retractions, hoarseness of voice, cough, stridor, color of mucous membrane and skin, and also restlessness and irritability. So these are all should be monitored by the nurses. and provision of a high humidity atmosphere and oxygen, elevate the head of the bed, promotion of rest. That is, a child should be kept as much as comfortable as possible and also minimize the painful interventions, and provide the appropriate and adequate fluids and nutrition, support and educate the parents, and also in severe cases insertion of an artificial airway or tracheotomy may be needed. So these are the nursing management. So that's all regarding the croup. So we discussed what is croup, then what are the clinical manifestations, pathophysiology, then what is the diagnostic measures, and the management of croup. So next I am explaining the previous year questions related with this topic, croup. That is, the brassy barking cough in croup is termed as options: dry cough, croup cough, productive cough, whooping cough. The right answer is croup cough. So brassy barky cough is associated with croup, so it is known as croup cough. Next, the correct pathophysiological mechanism of croup disorder is, it is caused by various viruses. It occurs in children with chronic asthma. It is other name for it is whooping cough and is a complication of underdeveloped lungs. Here the right answer is caused by various viruses. That is the correct answer. Next, the nurse should avoid offering dash liquids to a child with croup. Options: hot water, apple juice, whole milk, cold water. Here the answer is whole milk. Okay, the whole milk should not be given because it may thicken the mucus. A child with croup is placed in a cool, high humidity tent connected to room air. The primary purpose of the tent is to prevent insensible water loss, provide a moist environment with oxygen at 30%, prevent dehydration and reduce fever, liquefy the secretions and relieve laryngeal spasm. Here the answer is liquefy secretions and relieve laryngeal spasm. Next question, which is the common characteristics of croup? Options: moist cough, barky cough, muffled cough, wheezy cough. So which is the common characteristics of croup? Options: moist cough, barky cough, muffled cough, wheezy cough. Answer is barky cough. Then what is the nurse priority intervention when preparing for admission of a child with acute laryngotracheobronchitis? Options: pad the side rails of the crib, arrange for a quiet, cool room, place a tracheotomy set at the bedside, obtain a recliner so that a parent can stay. Here the right answer is arrange for a quiet, cool room. Then the classical finding in croup is options: thumb sign, steeple sign, Murphy sign, Battle sign. The answer is steeple sign. So these are some of the questions related to this topic. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. Hope you liked the video. Also give your comments in the comment box.